In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the Vorin Empire, a race of highly advanced and powerful aliens, had long dominated the cosmos. Their fleets, armed with the latest in alien technology, patrolled the stars, ensuring their supremacy over countless worlds. They had encountered many species, but none had posed a significant threat until they discovered Earth. The Vorin's initial scans of Earth were unremarkable. Humans appeared to be a primitive species, relying on outdated technology and having no significant presence beyond their own moon. Yet, there were anomalies, strange signals, erratic energy readings, and reports of ships disappearing near the planet piqued the interest of the Vorin High Command. Commander Thal of the Vorin Exploratory Fleet was tasked with investigating these anomalies. A seasoned officer with countless campaigns under his belt, Thal was confident that this mission would be routine. As his fleet approached the Sol system, he reviewed the intelligence reports, dismissing them as mere rumors. On entering Earth's orbit, Thal ordered a series of probes to be launched. The probes, designed to be undetectable to primitive sensors, would gather detailed information about the planet and its inhabitants. Thal expected to find nothing of interest, but what he discovered left him and his crew in shock. The probes revealed hidden energy fields, massive underground facilities, and ships that far surpassed human technological capabilities. It was as if a different, far more advanced civilization existed beneath the surface, hiding from plain sight. Thal was intrigued. How had such a primitive species developed this level of technology without detection? Thal decided to send a reconnaissance team to the surface. Disguised in cloaked shuttles, the Vorin operatives infiltrated key locations across the globe. What they found was astonishing. Humans, it seemed, were not as primitive as they appeared. They had developed advanced technologies in secret, technologies that rivaled those of the Vorin. In a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the Vorin operatives stumbled upon a massive control center. Screens displayed live feeds from hundreds of satellites, and technicians monitored complex energy readings. In the center of the room stood a device emitting a low hum, surrounded by human scientists in lab coats. The lead scientist, Dr. Elena Ramirez, was in the midst of a heated discussion with her team. "We can't let them discover our true capabilities," she said. "The Vorin will annihilate us if they realize how advanced we are." One of her colleagues, a young engineer named Jake, responded, "But we can't hide forever. Sooner or later, they'll figure it out." Dr. Ramirez sighed, looking at the device. "That's why we need to complete the quantum shield. It's our only chance to protect ourselves." The Vorin operatives recorded everything and returned to their ship. Thal, upon reviewing the footage, realized the gravity of the situation. The humans had developed a quantum shield, a theoretical technology that could render their planet impenetrable to any attack. This changed everything. Thal knew he had to act quickly. He sent a report to the Vorin High Command, recommending an immediate strike to destroy the humans' advanced facilities before they could complete the shield. The High Command agreed, and a massive Vorin fleet was dispatched to Earth. As the Vorin fleet approached, Earth's hidden defenses sprang into action. Energy shields enveloped key installations, and advanced weaponry emerged from underground silos. The humans were ready. The Vorin fleet, led by Commander Thal, initiated their assault with a barrage of plasma torpedoes aimed at Earth's major cities. But to their astonishment, the torpedoes dissipated harmlessly upon impact with the newly activated quantum shield. Thal, undeterred, ordered his ships to concentrate their firepower on the shield generators. On the surface, Dr. Ramirez and her team worked frantically to maintain the shield. "They're focusing on the generators," Jake shouted, monitoring the energy readings. "We need to divert more power." Dr. Ramirez nodded. "Do it. We can't let them break through." In space, the battle intensified. Human warships, previously hidden in underground bunkers, launched into the fray. These ships, equipped with advanced stealth technology and powerful energy weapons, engaged the Voron fleet with unprecedented ferocity. The humans fought with a determination that surprised even Thal. As the Voron ships took heavy damage, Thal realized that he had underestimated the humans. Their ships were agile and heavily armed, capable of taking down even the most advanced Voron vessels. He watched in disbelief as one of his cruisers was obliterated by a concentrated energy beam from a human warship. "How are they doing this?" Thal muttered. "Their technology should be inferior." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Varric, replied, "It seems the humans have been hiding their true capabilities for a long time. We underestimated them." Thal clenched his fists. "We need to adapt. Order all ships to focus on the human warships. We can't let them gain the upper hand." The Voron fleet adjusted their tactics, targeting the human warships with precision strikes. But the humans were prepared. They had studied the Voron's tactics and weaknesses, and their ships were equipped with countermeasures that nullified many of the Voron's advantages. In the control center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Ramirez continued to coordinate the defense efforts. "How's the shield holding up?" she asked. Jake glanced at the readings. "It's stable for now, but they're putting a lot of pressure on us. If they manage to pinpoint the exact locations of our generators, we might not be able to maintain it." Dr. Ramirez nodded. "We need to buy more time." "What's the status of the weapon?" Jake's eyes widened. "You mean the EMP cannon?" "Yes," Dr. Ramirez said. "It's our last resort. If we can't hold them off, we'll need to use it." Jake hesitated. "But it's still experimental. We haven't tested it on a scale this large." "We don't have a choice," Dr. Ramirez said firmly. "Prepare it for activation." As the battle raged on, the Voron fleet began to suffer heavy losses. Human warships, utilizing hit-and-run tactics, managed to inflict significant damage on the Voron's more cumbersome vessels. Thal realized that a decisive move was necessary. "Lieutenant Varric, prepare the fleet for a full-scale assault," Thal ordered. "We need to break through their defenses and take out those generators." Varric saluted. "Yes, Commander." The Voron ships regrouped and launched a coordinated attack on the shield generators. Plasma beams and torpedoes bombarded the surface, shaking the ground beneath Dr. Ramirez's control center. "They're getting closer," Jake warned. "We can't hold them off much longer." Dr. Ramirez took a deep breath. "Activate the EMP cannon." Jake nodded and initiated the sequence. A massive satellite, hidden in orbit, came to life. Energy surged through its circuits, building up to a critical mass. Within moments, a powerful electromagnetic pulse was unleashed, sweeping across the battlefield. The EMP wave surged through space, disabling electronic systems and disrupting energy fields. Voron ships, caught in the pulse, experienced widespread malfunctions. Power conduits short-circuited, engines stalled, and weapon systems went offline. The once formidable fleet was rendered vulnerable. On the surface, the human warships, shielded from the pulse by their advanced technology, seized the opportunity. They launched a coordinated counterattack, targeting the disabled Voron vessels with precision strikes. Plasma beams sliced through hulls, and missiles found their marks with deadly accuracy. Commander Thal, aboard his flagship, watched in horror as his fleet crumbled. "How is this possible?" he shouted, his voice filled with frustration and disbelief. "They've disabled our ships." Lieutenant Varric, struggling to regain control of the systems, responded, "It must be an electromagnetic pulse, Commander. The humans have developed a weapon that can disable our technology." Thal's mind raced. He had to find a way to turn the tide. "Varric, can we recalibrate our shields to protect against the EMP?" Varric shook his head. "Not in time. Our systems are too compromised." Thal clenched his fists, feeling the weight of defeat pressing down on him. He had underestimated the humans, and now his fleet was paying the price, but he refused to give up. "Order all remaining ships to fall back and regroup. We need to find a way to counter their EMP weapon." As the Vorin ships began to retreat, the humans pressed their advantage. Dr. Ramirez and her team monitored the battle from the control center, their expressions a mix of relief and determination. "The EMP worked," Jake said, his voice filled with excitement. "We've disabled their fleet." Dr. Ramirez nodded, but her eyes remained focused on the screens. "This isn't over yet. We need to ensure they don't regroup and launch another attack. Prepare the quantum disruptor." Jake's excitement turned to concern. The quantum disruptor, but it's still in the experimental phase. We haven't fully tested its effects. "We don't have a choice," Dr. Ramirez said firmly. "If the Vorin regroup, they could still overwhelm us. The quantum disruptor is our best chance to ensure they don't pose a threat." Jake hesitated but then nodded. "Understood." Preparing the quantum disruptor for activation. In space, the Vorin fleet struggled to regroup. Commander Thal knew they needed to find a way to neutralize the humans' advanced technology. But as they attempted to coordinate their efforts, a new threat emerged. The quantum disruptor, a massive device hidden beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean. Activated, it emitted a pulse that targeted the fundamental quantum states of matter, destabilizing the Vorin's advanced technology on a molecular level. Vorin ships, already struggling to recover from the EMP, began to disintegrate. Hulls fractured, engines exploded, and systems failed catastrophically. The once mighty fleet was now in complete disarray. Thal watched in horror as his ships fell apart. "What is happening?" he demanded. Vorik, his face pale, responded, "It's the quantum disruptor, Commander. It's destabilizing our technology at a fundamental level. We can't withstand this." Thal's mind raced. He had to make a decision. Order all ships to retreat. We need to get out of range of the disruptor and regroup. As the Vorin ships attempted to flee, the human warships pursued, ensuring that the Vorin couldn't regroup and launch another attack. The battle had turned decisively in favor of the humans. The remnants of the Vorin fleet limped away from Earth, their once imposing presence reduced to a scattering of damaged vessels. Commander Thal, aboard his heavily damaged flagship, stared at the viewscreen in silence. He had never faced such a devastating defeat in all his years of service. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission from the Vorin High Command," Vorik said, his voice tinged with apprehension. Thal nodded. "Put it through." The holographic image of High Chancellor Vortin appeared before them. His expression was stern, and his eyes burned with anger. "Commander Thal," explained the Stevicle, "how could a primitive species inflict such damage on our fleet?" Thal took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. "Chancellor, the humans are not as primitive as we believed. They have developed advanced technologies in secret, including an EMP weapon and a quantum disruptor. They use these to disable and destabilize our ships." Chancellor Vortin's eyes narrowed. "This is unacceptable. We cannot allow this to stand. Prepare a full-scale invasion. We will crush these humans and erase their existence from the galaxy." Thal hesitated. "Chancellor, I recommend caution. The humans are more formidable than we anticipated. We need to study their technologies and develop countermeasures before launching another assault." Vortin's expression hardened. "You dare suggest retreat, Thal? Our empire does not retreat. We will strike back with overwhelming force." Thal knew that arguing further would be futile. "Understood, Chancellor. We will prepare for the invasion." As the transmission ended, Thal turned to Vorik. "We need to buy time. Send a message to our allies. Request reinforcements and technical assistance." Vorik nodded. "Yes, Commander." On Earth, the atmosphere was one of cautious celebration. The humans had won a significant victory, but they knew the Vorin would return. Dr. Ramirez and her team continued to work tirelessly, preparing for the inevitable next assault. In the hidden control center, Dr. Ramirez addressed her team. "We've dealt the Vorin a significant blow, but this is just the beginning. They will return, and we need to be ready." Jake looked determined. "What's our next move?" Dr. Ramirez pointed to a holographic display of the solar system. We need to fortify our defenses and develop new technologies to counter their next attack. We also need to form alliances with other species who may be threatened by the Vorin. We're not alone in this fight. As the humans prepared for the next phase of the conflict, a new sense of unity and determination spread across the planet. The realization that they were not as isolated or powerless as they had once believed fueled their resolve. In the weeks that followed, Earth's nations set aside their differences and pooled their resources. Advanced research facilities were established, and teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock to enhance their technologies. The quantum disruptor was improved, and new weapon systems were developed. At the same time, diplomatic envoys were sent to other species in the galaxy, seeking to form alliances against the Vorin. Many were skeptical, but the humans' recent victory and their willingness to share advanced technologies swayed several races to join their cause. The Vorin Empire, unwilling to accept defeat, launched a massive invasion fleet toward Earth. This time, their forces were even larger and more heavily armed. High Chancellor Vortin himself took command, determined to crush the humans once and for all. As the Vorin fleet approached, Earth braced for the onslaught. The combined might of humanity and their new allies stood ready to defend their home. Dr. Ramirez and her team monitored the situation from the control center, their faces set with determination. "They're coming," Jake said, his voice tense. Dr. Ramirez nodded. "Activate all defenses. Prepare the quantum disruptor and the EMP cannon. We can't let them break through." The battle began with a ferocity that shook the very fabric of space. The Vorin fleet unleashed a torrent of plasma beams and torpedoes, but the human and allied ships held their ground. Energy shields flickered and sparked, absorbing the brunt of the assault. In the midst of the chaos, the quantum disruptor fired, sending out waves of destabilizing energy. Vorin ships began to falter, their systems failing under the onslaught. The EMP cannon followed, disabling entire sections of the Vorin fleet. High Chancellor Vortin, aboard his flagship, watched in disbelief as his forces were once again being dismantled. "How can this be?" he roared. "We are the Vorin Empire. We are invincible." But the humans and their allies fought with a determination born of desperation and hope. They knew that failure meant annihilation, not just for Earth, but for all the species that stood against the Vorin. In the control center, Dr. Ramirez monitored the battle, her eyes scanning the data. "We're holding them off, but they're not retreating," she said. "They must have a plan." Jake pointed to a cluster of Vorin ships converging on a single point. "They're trying to breach our defenses. If they get through, they could target the shield generators directly." Dr. Ramirez's mind raced. "We need to stop them. Divert all available ships to intercept those vessels." As the Allied forces moved to intercept the Vorin spearhead, the battle reached its climax. Ships clashed in a chaotic dance of destruction, and the void of space was filled with the debris of fallen vessels. In the heart of the conflict, a human warship, the Resolute, commanded by Captain Harris, led the charge. "All power to the forward shields and weapons," Harris ordered. "We can't let them break through." The Resolute and its allies poured everything they had into the Vorin's advance. Energy beams lanced out, tearing through Vorin ships, while missiles found their marks with pinpoint accuracy. The Vorin spearhead began to falter, their ships unable to withstand the concentrated assault. High Chancellor Vortin, witnessing the collapse of his forces, knew that defeat was imminent. "All ships, retreat," he ordered. "We cannot win this battle." As the Vorin fleet began to withdraw, the humans and their allies pursued, ensuring that the invaders were driven far from Earth. The battle was won, but the cost had been high. In the aftermath, the galaxy was forever changed. The Vorin Empire, humbled and weakened, retreated to their territory, no longer the dominant force they once were. Humanity having proven their resilience and ingenuity, became a beacon of hope and strength for other species. Dr. Ramirez, standing in the control center, looked out at the stars. "We've shown them what we're capable of," she said softly. "But this is just the beginning. We need to remain vigilant and continue to grow stronger." Jake nodded. "We've forged new alliances and discovered our true potential. The galaxy will never be the same." And so Earth and its allies stood united, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring, knowing that together they could overcome any threat.